If you keep up with mainstream news at all, you would have seen all this Jonah Hill and his girlfriend's controversy recently.
Jonah Hill is getting canceled right now by his ex-girlfriend for allegedly being misogynistic and narcissistic. She took the following private conversation via text messages to her Instagram story last night with Jonah Hill says, "Speaking out is so important though."
Jonah Hill is on the verge of being cancelled for trying to set boundaries with his missus. Now, I'm new to all this. I don't follow celebrity culture, but it's big internet news, so we covered it here on this channel, and also the BS that comes with it. So it started with Jonah's girlfriend, Sarah Brady, sharing text messages that he sent to her, setting certain boundaries, and I'll put the text message up on screen here. Jonah said, "Plain and simple, if you need surfing with men, boundaryless, inappropriate friendships with men, to model, to post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit, to post sexual pictures, having friendships with women who are in unstable places and from your wild recent past, beyond getting a lunch or coffee or something respectful, I am not the right partner for you. If these things bring you to a place of happiness, I support it, and there will be no hard feelings. These are my boundaries for a romantic partnership. These are my boundaries with you, based on the ways these actions have hurt our trust." Now, right off the bat, what's wrong with that? Nothing. He's setting clear boundaries. Both Jonah and Sarah were going to couples counselling, relationship therapy, and this right here is a common practice, setting healthy boundaries, telling the other partner what you want, so then they can compromise on a few of those things, and then they tell you what they want from you, and then you compromise on a few things. This is like normal relationship behavior. It's something that I learned when I was doing my mentorship a few years ago about how you manage your romantic relationship in your life, and I don't believe enough people do this. You must tell your partner your clear expectations that you have of them in order for them to be a perfect partner to you. And then also, vice versa, they tell you exactly what they want from you, expectation-wise, so you can be a perfect partner for them. But you don't have to compromise 100%. You just have to work towards the centre a little bit more and try and meet in the middle. No one's going to perfectly compromise and change 30, 40 years of ingrained behaviours and habits overnight. And also, before going deeper into this story, why is this even a public story? You're both two famous people and you're sharing screenshots. She's just ruined her chances at getting a potential relationship in the future, or at least a long-lasting one, because the man who she's going to get with is going to have to be a bit of a simp, because any self-respecting man would not get with a woman who does this type of stuff, who shares screenshots online of private conversations. Now, I love the way everyone jumps in on this type of stuff and claims they are experts, and you've got people online saying that Jonah Hill is a misogynist and he's controlling, like you know anything that's happened behind the scenes. Find anyone who is in a happy, healthy relationship and they will say this type of stuff, setting boundaries, is completely normal. If you think this is controlling, then you've got an unbalanced relationship. It means that someone is not talking, someone's not communicating. It feeds into that whole happy wife, happy life, which I don't believe in. In order for that to make sense, happy wife, happy life, then that means the man must be unhappy. The man is not communicating. You women always talk about equal partnerships and equality. Yeah, and that means both having boundaries. Opinions are like arseholes. Everyone has got one. And now you've even got therapists on TikTok trying to break this situation down. Big up to Abbott and Preach who shared this.
Jonah Hill was using therapy speak to control his girlfriend Sarah, his now ex-girlfriend, and it's important that we go over this misuse of therapy language, which is kind of a thing these days, and how it can be super problematic as it masks controlling behavior under a commonly accepted positive concept, in this case, boundaries, making it harder for the person on the receiving end, Sarah, to challenge it. Okay, so Jonah is basically telling his professional surfer girlfriend, I am not going to be with you if you surf with men, have boundaryless friendships with men, model, post pictures in a bathing suit, or post suggestive pictures, and are friends with women who are in unstable places. He goes on to say that these are my boundaries for a romantic relationship. Jonah's use of the term boundaries in this message is a misuse of the concept. A boundary is a healthy limit a person sets for themselves to protect their well-being and integrity. It is a rule or guideline that one creates to identify reasonable, safe, and permissible ways for others to behave towards them and how they'll respond when someone passes those limits. However, in the message Jonah sent to Sarah, he is not setting boundaries that protect his emotional well-being. Instead, he is dictating what behaviors and friendships Sarah is permitted to have. He's essentially instructing Sarah on who she can be friends with, what she can do professionally, and how she can show up online. This is not an example of healthy boundary setting. Instead, it reflects an attempt at control. It demonstrates a lack of respect for Sarah's autonomy and individuality.
I don't know what doublespeak this therapist is using here to explain the term boundaries. He's saying that the concept of boundaries only applies to oneself, and he's trying to use that and turn it and twist it into controlling her, and that has got nothing to do with boundaries. So he's saying it's more about the control of someone else rather than the boundaries that you set for yourself. No, when you are in a relationship, boundaries is something that you both have. So you have personal boundaries, and then the other person has personal boundaries, and then as a relationship itself, the relationship has boundaries, meaning no one's going to cheat, no one's going to stay out till 7 a.m. or do drugs or whatever it might be. No one's going to disrespect one another in front of other people. There are mutual boundaries in between both of you as individuals. There's you and your girlfriend, and then mutual boundaries between you, as well as individual boundaries. I can't believe that we have to sit here and explain this. Once again, who have we got explaining it? Someone who seems like he's gay and probably doesn't understand what it's like to be with women. If we go through what Jonah was asking for, right? Surfing with men and boundaryless, inappropriate friendships with men. There's a reason why he's saying this. That hasn't just come out of the blue. He's saying it for a reason, meaning that she has crossed the line somewhere to the point where it's made Jonah feel uncomfortable. I see people going around the internet saying, this is insecurity on Jonah's behalf. No, there's a difference between being insecure and being territorial. I'm not an insecure individual, but I know if my girl goes out to town and she's in a club surrounded by men, there's going to be men trying to buy her drinks, there's going to be men trying to grab her ass, there's going to be men trying to chat her up. That's not an insecurity in me. That just means that I don't want my girl to be in that environment. And then also she said about... Jonah said about friendships with women who are in unstable places and from your wild recent past. So what that means is that she's hanging around with toxic individuals. If you've got a beard and she's got a bunch of slaggy, slutty mates, how would that make you feel when she goes on a night out? You would feel, even if you trust your girl through and through, you'd just be thinking, well, all the mates are doing these activities. Like, what's my girl doing whilst all them are doing that stuff? I don't want her to be in those environments. As a man, you want to be the protector, the provider, the traditional man who looks after your girl in the relationship. When she's out with all these friendships who are in unstable places, in Jonah's words, you can't do your job as a man then. You can't protect, provide, you can't keep her safe. So, yeah, that is going to make you feel a little bit worried. It's not an insecurity. I don't know why people want to always say it's insecurity. Here's another thing as well. When Jonah first met this girl, she was already a surfer. We have to play devil's advocate a little bit here. She was already a surfer. She was already posting, raunchy content on her Instagram profile. Maybe that's what caught Jonah's eye in the first place. He's seeing that she's posting all this content. You see girls on Instagram and you go, oh, she's fit here. I'd love to get with her. I'd love to wife it. I'd love to beard her up. Then when you actually get with her, you want her to change up her activity and her behaviour. So what you get with the Instagram model, now all of a sudden you want her to change your profile to private. Don't post raunchy pictures. Don't post pictures in your underwear. But it's like, you got with the girl knowing that. So it comes with the territory. It's like strippers. Listen, I've dated strippers in the past, and it's all fun and games, but I've never wanted to wife one up or beard one up because I understand that, nah, if I get with them, I can't accept her. Now this is my girlfriend, my beard, and she's still going out and dancing on other men. But that's something that I have to accept if I want to get with her. If I want her to be my girlfriend, I have to accept that because I can't change her because she came as that. You know what I mean? So this is something that Jonah has to accept. But listen, they were going to couples therapy, relationship counselling for a reason. He's set clear boundaries, and he's also said it in a nice, respectful manner. He said, if you need all these things, then I'm not the right partner for you. If these things bring you to a place of happiness, then I support it and there will be no hard feelings. These are my boundaries for a romantic partnership. Where in that is it controlling or misogynistic? I think we need to redefine the term misogyny in this day and age, because anything classifies as it. You've got girls going around and they victimise themselves and they think if a man acts a certain way or speaks to them in a certain way, then the man looks down on the woman, when they don't realise that's just maybe how that man speaks to everyone. You see it in the corporate environment a lot. These men who are high up managers and they go up to the top level CEOs and executives and they speak to the women with disrespect, and then the women take that as like, oh, he's being sexist. They don't realise that no, he speaks to the men like that as well. The term misogyny, emotional control, all that emotional manipulation, there's a lot of grey area, and we don't want to accept it, and it's almost controversial to say that these days, but come on. You know there's grey area, and women will use things like these words, these buzzwords, to try and paint you out as the bad guy, and it just doesn't sit right with me. The big problem I have with this is it's public, and you only have a very small slice of the pie to work with. Everyone's pretending to be experts, and relationship therapists and psychologists are all coming out giving their 2 cents, but no one really knows what's happened behind the scenes. Only those 2 people know, and this is what women tend to do, is they'll try and defamate your character. It was Jordan Peterson who said that both men and women are equally aggressive. Men just tend to act out more physically, whereas women tend to act out in terms of reputation destruction, spread and gossip, because that's the only way that they can actually get to you as a man. Whereas as a man, you can just slap a girl, now your rage is out. A woman can't do that against a man, so she has to find more cunning, smart, conniving ways of hating you. And that's why women are really good. If you've been in a long-term relationship, it doesn't even have to be a long-term relationship, you'll know that when you argue, women can get nasty. And she's done something like this, has obviously went to the next level, where she's really trying to mess up his reputation online. And now they're talking about getting Jonah Hill cancelled, and what an absolute load of crap. You don't even know the full picture. They could have been behind the scenes and had a completely amicable split, and this was something instructed by the therapist, is to text the boundaries to each other, or maybe they've spoke about the boundaries in person anyway, which they probably have done, and then he's just doubling down with the text. Now she's airing that out as a small little snapshot and removing all the context of the entire backstory of their relationship, and now it's got people saying that Jonah Hill is misogynist. This is not controversial whatsoever. This type of stuff happens every single day, hundreds of thousands, millions of times. It's called relationship dynamics. So the way I look at this is, I don't know anything about this situation. No one does, so stop pretending like you do. But from my eyes, from where I'm standing, it looks like Jonah Hill has done nothing wrong. He set his boundaries, she's the one who's aired out all the messages. Now it's got a bit petty, and he started airing the messages out, and it's a back and forth of who can crap on each other the most online on social media. It's high school behaviour. A couple of millionaire actors sharing screenshots about each other online. It's lame. But what do you guys think of this? Comment down below. We've got to look at both sides of the coin at the end of the day. Jonah got with her, knowing what she's like. He set the boundaries. He said it in a pretty nice manner. She said no and aired out all the screenshots. Pretty messed up situation, but definitely something that Jonah should not be cancelled for. Comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Like the video and subscribe if you're new to the channel. See you all tomorrow.